I truly loved this so much. I personally do not have something like this where it's genetic or like a chronic disease that they kind of don't have a lot of answers for, or a lot of treatment for, or a lot of understanding or compassion, it seems like. And I think that when you're dealing with that type of illness, the voices of those affected by it need to be heard, especially when it is something that we've known about for however long, and researchers and doctors don't really seem to know all that much more than they did in the beginning. I mean, I don't know a ton about this, so maybe that's too harsh or broad a statement to say, but from watching this, the voices of the people should be included more, or at least should feel included more. I think the thing that struck me the most was her saying that she still felt researched on and not like she was being a part of research. And I thought that that was such a powerful, great way to phrase it, because at least it really struck a chord with me, because it's turning somebody into a number. It's turning them into a lab sample. It's turning them into an input on a spreadsheet, or however research goes. But it's taking the kind of humanity away from it. And I think that especially with diseases like this, where it's hereditary, you could pass it down, it could affect, a whole family going back generations. And when, even if it's in your treatment plan, you're still having to fight and advocate for yourself because there's question marks or lack of understanding or lack of knowledge in the medical space, or at least in the treatment rooms, in the hospitals themselves. I think that your voices need to carry more weight. And I think that this was such a lovely, beautiful movie to shed light and understanding to people exactly like myself who do not know much about this, because it does not affect my life. And that the more knowledge you can spread, the more awareness you can bring, the better every circumstance is going to be for the most part. And I think that knowledge combats apathy, and compassion combats apathy. And the more that you spread awareness, the less apathy can exist. And I think that this was a really, really beautiful way to share knowledge, spread awareness, and put some of the humanity back into the story and the narrative, which I think is obviously needed and important.
This film, was a documentary piece about a woman with sickle cell disease and her resilience through it, and the way she was treated through this disease, both seen differently by everyone around her, and also by the doctors, kind of using her and seeing her as like a science experiment more than a person. I loved the animation element that they added to this piece. I think it's a great tool for storytelling, and it helps literally paint the picture, and just get even a glimpse of what it was that she felt. And it also helps keep our attention and understanding of what's going on. She has faced so much discrimination with her disability and her skin color, and people discriminating, and especially the doctors not believing her and not giving her the care that she needs. This was a really important issue to talk about, and I don't think that the racial inequality in medical practice gets talked about enough. So that's a really important subject that she brought up. And this is really well made and very informative story, and I think they did a great job capturing the elements that I talked about without overdoing the medical vocabulary and helping us to really understand um, what she went through.
Yep. Wow, this was an amazing documentary. I mean, it's only 15 minutes short, but I think it does a great job exploring two very complex subjects. First of all, the whole anemia situation. Yeah, this is something that I have seen in some friends, and I didn't know about this with as much as detail as we see in the documentary, but it is quite something challenging for people. But it also does an excellent accusation on the way this woman was victim of racism and social injustices just because of her skin color. That's freaking awful. And I want to congratulate the filmmakers for bringing such a brilliant spotlight into these two situations, the anemic condition and the challenges black people and especially people from this place of the world um, still faces. It's terrible. I also think that the film did some excellent job when it comes to production because the animation sequences are gorgeous. They are so vivid. They have so much energy. The interview itself was very interesting to see, but these details made it all feel more alive, more magical, more visually engaging. That was an incredible execution. So well done. And again, congratulations on bringing such a brilliant spotlight to these two subjects.
Within the story of Yep, we get a three-part short series about a woman from Ghana who carries a case of sickle cell and her journey of these really painful challenges that she faces in order to get treatment, the treatment that she deserves. And so we get to see how she has to be resilient and be willing to do things like leave everything that she's ever known to go to another place to be able to get treatment, to enduring and suffering pain through a period of time as you go through the hurdles and hoops that is healthcare. And it breaks down what BIPOC people face when it comes to the medicinal world and how it's different for people like us who look a little bit different based on their skin tone. And so, as we acknowledge these acts of racial injustice, it really just goes to showcase that, health is a basic human right and that we all deserve to be able to have the treatment that we need because we're all just people. And this is just one of many stories.